Can you hear me okay? Uh-oh. D, can you hear me okay?
Okay.
My volume for it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. How are you today?
Good. Good. I can't complain. Yeah, all is well.
Happy pre-Valentine's Day, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Valentine's Day. That's one of my favorite holidays.
It's obvious because people don't normally walk around wearing hearts all the time unless there's something to it, right?
Yeah, so my mother was big on Valentine's Day growing up, and she would always wear something red. It had to be a red outfit, and my dad had to get her the pecan turtles.
Good.
She wore red lipstick, and it was just like this whole thing. So once I grew up, obviously Valentine's Day never really had a significant meaning in terms of gifts and candy, but because she loved it and she always would be like, oh, you're supposed to show love to people and stuff like that. And so that's kind of like where I got this whole Valentine theme for. So things I do at work, I called it Show Some Love. I did that last year. The year before that, I just kind of try to give out candy and treats and encourage people to wear red, wear hearts. And just show some love, give affirmation to somebody. So yeah, that's where the whole Valentine theme come in for. So for me in February, I take about a good 2 weeks going into Valentine's Day, wear me some red, wear me some hearts, and kind of just give affirmations to people. And in return, I get gifts too. So it just works out.
Oh, good. It works out. Well, people must know you as a Valentine lady, and they expect that.
Right.
You know what? We won't even worry about Hallmark. We refer to you as Valentine. You'll be the ambassador. How about that? Right. That's wonderful. Well, just to have a formal introduction, I'm here with Delonda D. Little, representing for the Horatio Williams Foundation. They're going to be having their first annual referees clinic, and you're going to be heading that up. And you're a great ambassador for that. When I knew about the clinic, which I'll be covering next Saturday, I'll be looking forward to being there, live streaming, talking. But I was excited to be able to talk to you, not just because of the clinic and it being a great thing, and we'll talk about that in a second, but just because what you represent, especially being a Detroit-based veteran official in the culture of officials in Detroit, some cool people doing what you do, and also the big need to be able to get more in the pipeline. And we'll talk about all those things going forward. But what I do want to do.
Uh-oh, Lindsay. I think you got disconnected.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, you back.
You know, just like a referee at the end of the game, you got to keep your cool, and be okay. But can you hear me okay? Okay.
I can.
Okay, great. Yeah, so if that happens, please don't worry. I'm not far from it. It just happens, but we're going to keep it cool and be okay. But I'm going to put the flyer up right now. The referee clinic's taking place February 20th at Detroit Edison Public School Academy. People may say, what's that? It's DEPSA. You hear DEPSA, then people are like, okay, I know. And I want to thank our sponsors, the Horatio Williams Foundation, obviously, Gilead Science, and Dick's as well. They're doing some great things in the community, and without them, this would not be possible. But let's get to you, Miss Referee, right here, standing strong. I mean, posture, your commanding presence. I'm a former Marine, so you have that military bearing, everything about this is powerful, and you are not swayed at all. So before we get into what's happening, I'm going to watch these comments too. Woo Perry said, "What up, my people? What up, Woo? What's going on, man? Hope you're doing okay with that rehab as well." Shout out to Woo. Let's find out who Delonda D. Little is. When I say Delonda, am I giving it the correct pronunciation?
You are.
You okay. I don't want you to catch me after this broadcast. Look, man, get my name right. Before we go any further, let's just talk about who you are. And we have no time constraints, and we're asking people like James, Wu Payne, and others to chime in. You probably got a word or two to say about him if you was covering the Woo League, if you had to get on him about how he was acting at the Woo League. We'll get to that. I bet it's a story.
We'll get to that.
Okay, good. See, Woo, we on your head, man. We got something for you. So tell us who you are.
Okay, so I'm Delonda Little, and So obviously I'm a basketball official, but my daytime job, I work for the Michigan Department of Correction as a parole supervisor. I've been with Department of Corrections for 25 years this month, actually on the 25th. So I've been a supervisor for the parole department, roughly 7 years, I think. Yeah,
wow.
7, 8 years coming up in November. And so I supervise the sex offender unit, GPS sanction. Wow. Yeah, my staff is pretty busy and pretty tough. So it's not an easy job, but obviously we get it done. And I try to be a great supervisor. I try to be a great leader. And that leads me to what I do on the court. Same thing, try to be professional, be a great leader. You know, and basketball is guess I would say my way of giving back to the community. A little bit about me in terms of basketball is when obviously I played at Wayne State University. I had a basketball scholarship there.
Shout out to the Tartars. Shout out to the Tartars, which are now
the Tartars. That's right. They're the Warriors now.
Warriors. Okay, right, great. You date yourself when you say "Go Tartars." Huh? They're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, the new people don't know who they are.
Okay, great.
So yeah, I started basketball at Wayne State University. I only played basketball a couple of years. I have a very unique story. I'm not going to go into it, but I only played basketball.
For the book. The story's for the book.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, let's just say this. I started playing basketball in my junior year in high school. I went to Detroit Osborne.
Okay, shout out to Osborne.
And so I had never touched the basketball ever in my life. It's a weird story, but all my life, let's say since I was 10 years old on up, I played volleyball and softball. So I've been athletic. Prior to basketball, volleyball was my best sport. So I actually had gotten recruited in college for volleyball. And I end up originally going to Wayne State on a dual scholarship, volleyball and basketball.
Okay.
At some point before we got really good into basketball season, they made me make a decision. And I chose
basketball. Though I don't get that.
Yeah, it was kind of it was weird. But here's the thing. The weird thing about it, I almost chose volleyball because volleyball is something that I've been playing since I was 11. And basketball, I had a friend that kind of mentored me along with her father mentored me along in basketball, showed me all the ropes. I was a great rebounder my senior year. I did start, but they had to come get the ball. Like I couldn't do nothing.
You couldn't put it on the floor?
No way. And they would come get it. And so my athletics story and how you just never give up. Okay. Obviously I'm competitive. So I always wanted to be good. So I took that whole summer, played basketball, street ball, 7 Mile, St. Louis. I was out there. I was the only girl. Every court you name it. Palmer Park. I was everywhere playing outside.
Get it in. Did you always have a height advantage, or was there a growth spurt that changed everything?
I was always 5'11" for the longest, and I maybe grew an inch.
You came out 5'11", huh?
I say I grew maybe 1 inch from, I would say, my sophomore year of high school to my senior year, and I've been the same height ever since. So yeah, maybe an inch. So, but so yeah, I end up practicing and just wanted to play, and I went down to Wayne State playing pickup basketball with a friend and some other friends, and that's how I got my basketball scholarship. I had never played basketball on that level, and at first I was like, nah, and I knew the volleyball coach was interested in me, so they kind of got together and decided to give me a dual scholarship. And at some point, like I said, they made me choose, and I chose basketball. Long story short, I had some great accolades my first year. I was freshman of the year, leading the GLIAC in rebounds, leading the GLIAC in field goal percentage. All I had was one move, the turnaround jump shot. Turnaround jump shot was patent.
It must have worked because they over here calling you the GOAT right now. Who's this shouting you out calling you the GOAT right now?
Who is that? I can't.
Hello, I don't know. It says GOAT. Hello, so they must go by GOAT and they saying hello. So we'll see. I don't know if that's for me or for you. I got somebody giving me Trojan love. What's up, Omar? Trojan in the house, but we got Osborne as well. So you were able to be very successful.
Very successful. I ended up being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I
saw that a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, that happened in 2005. So I was the first person in Wayne State history to ever get inducted within 10 years of graduating. So I got some pretty good accolades at Wayne State. Not to toot my own horn, but I thank God for that because I probably would have never ended up in college, to be honest.
This is the platform to definitely toot your own horn here on the SPS network. So you definitely put it out there. No problem. No humility needed right here. We got you here for a purpose, okay?
Yeah. So, well, that's pretty much. Like I said, I had several different accolades there, and a Hall of Fame induction was the biggest. But
on that note, I just want you to know this particular comment is coming from the voice of the Big Ten, Mr. Stephen Bardo. He is the GOAT. So Stephen Bardo is giving you those props right now. Shout out to Stephen Bardo. What's up? It's Stephen Bardo and Bardo's Breakdown. I don't know if he's covering the game today. He may even be covering Michigan State, Iowa. But I just want to let you know, people are watching, and they're giving you your props right now. So shout out to Stephen Bardo. Thanks, fam, for checking in. We gave you GOAT props. He's part of that Fighting Illini crew that did their thing.
Yeah, nice.
I thought you were smiling. I think the screen is froze. It's a great smile. Let me see if I can get her. Hold on for a second. Stephen, I hope you're doing okay too. I lost D for a second. We're okay. We're here on the SPS Edge show. Yeah, I lost you for a second, D. Are you back?
I'm back. I can hear you.
I was like, you got an amazing smile because you was just froze like this. I said, wow, she's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you hear I was telling you Stephen Bardo was giving you props? Did you hear that part?
I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Thank you.
You know who Stephen is with the Big Ten Network?
I do. I mean, I don't know him personally, but yeah.
Okay. We'll make the connection. And then also my young Jedi, Terry McCord, Tell It All. He said, tell it all. That's amazing. He's my co-host on the SPS podcast. And we're going to give you your props. We're going to give you your roses. How about this? Give you your hearts while you're here. How about that? Because that's your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I take roses too, but thank you.
Take roses too? All right, good. I know somebody in particular taking notes. I'm going to get to him in a second, a little later, right? Here's the thing. Talk about the transition. You had a great career, obviously. Talk about the transition because clearly you started your professional life. And I want to go back to something really quick before we get into the referee piece. You talk about your job. Your job you have is a very stressful, and I can only imagine a job where there are things you want to unsee, unremember, and talk about being able to have such a stressful, emotionally draining job and also being in a supervisory role. So you're not just there. You kind of got to take on everybody's issue and then turn around and got to be on the court to help some young people who think the whole world revolves around them and that call, saying they didn't travel when they did. How do you deal with that?
So here's the thing. First of all, it takes a certain person to officiate. I like to applaud myself on having a very calm demeanor. That's how I work. Like,
is that who you are personally, though? I'm just curious.
Who I am personally. So if you get to know me, I don't let a lot of stuff rattle. So a lot of stuff don't get to me. I don't become uneasy.
Half the people listen to this can't be referees, you're saying, because they be tripping.
Listen, first of all, you can't have rabbit ears, and you just got to have a certain poise. You got to be able to talk to people. You got to know your rules. You got to be knowledgeable. I think so. A part of the stress that you say I deal with at work is not stress to me. It's not stress to me because I absorb. Like people at work think of me as the positive morale builder. And so a lot of people pour into me because they feel like, okay, D is always there. Or they call me Miss Little. I can go talk to her.
Don't get too comfortable watching this podcast. People show up to work, talk about, hey, D.
Right. Well, they feel like they can come vent and then be done with it. You know what I mean? Like, I let people go. I let them go. So, like, same thing with a coach. If a coach is going nuts, going crazy, I let them go. You know what I mean? I don't give out very many texts. If I feel like I can't talk to you, and then you know what I mean? Then I'm walking away. I'm going to give you an opportunity to, walk away. So how all of that correlates is basically my personality, just having a very calm demeanor, being able to handle people when they are outraged or get crazy. I guess it's a gift that I have. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because I'm a female, but I know how to handle myself. And so with situations with refereeing, things I deal with at work, it's kind of like a balance. You talk about the youth. I deal with youth at work. Before I became a supervisor, I was dealing with these knuckleheads, that age group from 17 to 25.
Right.
And it's very difficult. And again, they won't think you owe them the world. They done got in this trouble and they feel like, hey, you the person that did it. I didn't do it.
You did it. So you did it.
I have to kind of keep that same hat, that same role, like,
Right.
So it's easy for me to kind of just be out there and be calm all the time. And that's how I still try to be authoritative, because that's what I'm out there to do. Enforce the rules, be authoritative, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. But I do it in a way where it's not that I'm trying to take over the game, because I feel like my presence is enough.
Yeah.
So that's that transition from work to officiating, being a leader, just having a very calm demeanor, no matter what, no matter what's happening.
My partner in crime, Coach Orlando Watkins, is sending you some hearts for Valentine's Day with a basketball attached to it. Yeah, shout out to our podcast and platform wouldn't be what it is now without Orlando Watkins and all the things he's doing. So I want to shout out him. Yeah, you're saying so many great things. So let's talk about the clinic for a second going forward. And only before and I guess as we wrap into the clinic and why it's important, maybe we can talk about officiating and what it really means to people who don't know. They just see you out there momentarily, but talk about the career opportunity, the professional development opportunity, the financial incentive and opportunity for people who get involved. So just talk about that, aspect for a second.
Okay. So obviously there is a very high need of officials. The average age in Michigan at one point used to be 52. Right now, I believe it's 48. So that's the average age for.
It's still like the same window, huh?
Yeah. So it's not much of a difference.
I'm just curious. I don't know if you ever answered this, or maybe we get MHSA on the line. How is Michigan related to other states with that average age? Higher, lower?
That's federal. So that's national.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that's federal and or federation, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So what we need to do as veteran officials is try to get our youth involved. And I am actually a mentor for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. I also am a association leader for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. I have my own association, which is a training to help officials, do the educational part of it as well as basic training. So part of that is to try to recruit, bring on our youth. I was happy that Horatio asked me to put this on for him because it's such a need. I don't know how successful it'll be right now because of the pandemic, but definitely we need that youth. And I'm targeting 16 to 24 because that's that age group that we really need to get our youth involved. If they really wanted to know like what an official does, it's just something that we do is to speak, we have to kind of be able to speak that. It's not something that they can.
Age group again? I'm sorry, Delonda. What's the age group you say you're targeting?
16 to 24.
Okay.
We'd love to get females out there. Michigan, we have quite a few females now, and I thank God for that. Yay, more females.
I know a lot of your crew. Shout out some of your female officials that are out here.
Oh, we got Kamaria Douglas, we got Cosette Ely, April Martin, Randy Henry, Jill White. Wow, we got a lot of.
Don't be calling her, texting her if she didn't say your name. She out here doing a podcast, and I put her on the spot. So don't be sending her no messages. Talking about why you didn't say my name. I was ref for 3 years ago, so I got.
That's right. Yeah. Cayenne Jackson, better not forget Cayenne because she just came along. So Cayenne Jackson. So yeah, it's good when you are a female and you got your female friends that you always around and they see you doing it. So it's easy to kind of pull them along. But again, they're my age. or in my age range. Right. So if I can get some of those younger officials that are fresh in high school, can be a part of the legacy program and then move up from there, that would be the goal. That's ideal.
So that term legacy, that is a thing. Can you kind of define that one more time, the legacy program?
So the legacy program is for high school students. And what they do is, not to get in all the details, but it kind of like they get a mentor, somebody such as myself, bring them along. I'll be able to work games with them. They won't be able to do high school games, but they will be able to do some of the elementary and middle school games. And
that's great though. They can grow.
Right. That person.
And those are paid opportunities, I'm thinking, right?
Paid opportunities. So for a lot of the elementary school games, it depends whether it's stop clock or running clock. They average 20 to 25 games or 30 the most for $30 a game. Let's put it that way. From 20 to $30 a game, they get paid for an hour.
So let me just make a comment for all those who want to say how much and this and that. If you're getting paid anything for your service, you're considered a professional. That's meaning that somebody realized that your services are a step above everyone else, and you can do that. And I'm really bothered by people who really have issue with how much they get when they don't have anything else to compare that to. Now, you just talked about an early official coming in, high school age, making $25. Just to do a quick jump, you're not just hanging out because it's Valentine's weekend. You're getting ready to go to work. You're getting ready to work a collegiate game. And then also from that, and Horatio and I were talking, what could someone who's gone through the ranks and makes it to the game that's going to be today or at 2:30 when Michigan State plays Iowa, what are those guys making?
Okay, so every conference pays differently. The last I checked, Michigan State, which is the Big Ten, they were paying roughly $1,200, $1,300 a game.
Hold up. Pause. As they say, pause.
Right.
$1,200 or $1,300 a game.
That's correct. That's the last time I checked, and that may be a few years ago, and it just ranged. But that's for the.
I know it didn't go down.
It probably didn't go down, I'm sure. So let's talk about that's Division I level. That would be all of the D1s, women, men. It's pretty much ranging from $1,200 on up. D2, Division II, which is what I work, which is primarily the GMAC.
And then you give me a range. I don't want nobody getting in your pocket, sending you cash apps talking about what's up. You got a game today. So you can give me the range of that. So
give you the range. And then so let's just say the Division II level, which is what I work. I'm at Fair State University right now today. And so the GLIAC plays $275, I forget, $275 plus mileage. So that's what they pay per game.
You'd be like, I'm driving from the UP.
Well, they use your address, so we do everything on the system. It's not you're gonna be able to put
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be lead to that. I should add to that narrative. My apologies.
Yeah, so it's $275 plus they pay you for mileage. Right now in the pandemic, they're doing something a little bit different now. They're paying for you to stay in a hotel. They don't want you to leave. You got to have back-to-back games, and so that's something they're doing.
Wow. So this is a two-gamer for you.
Yep, I worked last night and today. So yep.
Okay, one more thing. Can you drive home and drive back and try to be like, I need my mileage one more time again? Okay, I'm gonna stop with that.
Well, no, they actually got it. Well, if you would decide to go home and it's on your own, you're still getting paid the one flat rate. They just not doing the mileage because they want you to stay here because we have to be tested and they don't want you out in the community. Yeah. So it's
you're pretty much in a little bubble, like a little mini quarantine bubble right now, huh?
That's correct.
And your accommodations look good. That don't look like the Bluebird Motel. They got some nice accommodations. Where they got
staying in a very nice hotel, Holiday Inn, Big Rapids. It's big.
Okay, good. Okay, and they got your red backdrop too. So it seems like even with what you shared, it's definitely worthwhile because I think what people they get caught up and they look at something, they say, "Oh man, you got a job, you got a day job." And you're able to bring this in as supplemental income, but that's significant supplemental income. And I imagine they don't just schedule for 2 games for the season, right?
Lindsay, I'll tell you this. Okay, I try not to referee on Sundays, but I am an official who works 6 days a week for sure. No question about it. That's college, that's high school. I don't do as
6
much.
6 days a week?
We
We work 6 days a week?
6 days a week.
I'm doing the math.
try to not work as many high school games because I'm so busy with my college schedule, but I don't want to take away from the kids because I love doing high school. So I at least try to get them 10 games each, 10 boys games, 2 women, 10 girls games. But I get so drawn into my high school schedule because, they always scheduling me. Like I can pretty much take my schedule. My college schedule is pretty much set in August. I know what I'm working. I usually get, postseason stuff. So I don't know what's happened with the postseason, but I work a lot of playoff games. So I leave my house at 6:30 in the morning, going to work at 7. I don't get home. And this is during the whole basketball season, a whole 6 months to like 10, 11 o'clock at night. That's on average. So imagine leaving your house, going to work, doing your 8 hours, and then hitting the road, driving 2-3 hours to a game at minimum. So it can be very stressful sometimes, only because I say that, especially during playoff games, because playoff come around, I got my job and I'm leaving there, hopping in the car, going to do a playoff game somewhere, and that's every day. It's like, you got to get yourself mentally prepared. You're in this car 2-3 hours.
You got to count all that money. You got to do all that.
You don't get a chance to cash them checks. So all my friends laugh at me because I don't count my high school checks. I really don't. Like literally, I might be working for free. I don't take track. I don't know what I'm getting paid. If they pay me, great. If they don't, okay, it's charity work. It is what it is. I'm okay with that. But I usually have a stack of checks in my suitcase. By the end of the week, I got to go deposit. And so it's a great thing. I mean, refereeing is good.
You know what? You got good problems.
You got to love it.
Speaking of high school, I want to shout out Broderick Knight. He just made a comment. He was one of my players when I coached at my alma mater, Henry Ford High School. He was a great point guard, great guy, great dad. And he's saying much love, good people. So I'm assuming that he may have come in contact with you as well. Shout out to you, a good dude. Yeah, he was my floor leader. Between him and Martell, they were my floor leaders. They got it done. Those guys really made me have a great coaching experience. I even got kicked out one game just to let them take over, and it turned out good. But it wasn't against you. I'll tell you, the ref will kick me out later. That's another conversation.
Okay.
What I want to do, we're at the 30-minute mark, and we're not. That doesn't mean we're halfway done. But I do want to take a moment and just let those who are joining us know what's going on. We are talking about the upcoming Horatio Williams Foundation first annual referee clinic. Ms. Delonda D. Little is going to be organizing that. Couldn't be a better person to do that. It's brought to us by Gilead Sciences and Dick's Sporting Goods, as well as that. I just want to shout out the sponsors. Dick's Sporting Goods. Nothing but love for them for what they're doing and what they're providing. I think is noteworthy what they're doing to the community. Also, the other sponsors as well. You talk about Gilead Sciences and what they're doing. They're working on things that are dealing with like HIV research, the COVID vaccines and things like that. I just want to acknowledge them as well as the Horatio Williams Foundation for all that they're doing. So back to you, what we got coming up. You mentioned that I talked to you yesterday indirectly. I was with H, and we talked about the sign up may be low. But the reality is that I'm not really concerned. I just think it's important to put it out there that it's there. And also, another thing about this upcoming event that's taking place, and let me put this out here for people while we're talking about money, it's free.
It's free.
It's free. So basically, it's an opportunity to make some money. You don't have to put in the investment, show up. Now, what's up with that? What can you do?
You know what? Let me talk about the high school rate, because it's high school. Obviously, we need to be paid a little bit more money, but the rate for high school across Michigan would be anywhere from $60 to $75. So you can make pretty good money doing a high school game, usually hour and 15 minutes. That's $60.
$60 an hour. You working like a new attorney.
That's correct.
That's first year attorney coming in, whatever. What Orlando say? Can't beat the price.
Can't beat the price. You might have to deal with some other stuff, but you can't beat the price.
Let's stay on that for a second before we get into this whole parents and fans behaving badly, which in my view, with the pandemic and everyone want to get back to basketball, that was a policy issue that we never got addressed, that was never addressed before that, and we'll get into that. But where else are you going to go for an hour of cardio and you being the man or being the woman, you go get $60 some odd an hour.
Yep.
And that's not even it. And you just walking in and walking out. And your impact and how things impact you is based on your mental capacity and how you handle things. I mean, come on now.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a way to give back to the community, to the basketball community. It's fun and keep you in shape. And I tell you, we always laugh. We think like our little referee circle is like some fraternity or sorority, but there are some great officials who doing great
well,
things.
let's speak on that. Let's speak on that for a second. Let's talk about you and all the fun y'all having. So if anybody looking just to make friends, I mean, gee whiz, who's in this picture? I see Karen, I see Cozy, I see Randy, I see Claude, I see Ray. You know, you can make friends. Hey, and I want to say this too. You can make other kind of friends too. Shout out to my guy Ray. What up, though? I'm just saying, you got other kind. And you know what? And I don't know nothing. If I just go on your social media, you see enough of these pictures together, you know what's going on. But that's
my God.
Now you got people saying like, "Girl, for real? I can do that too." But okay, let me play devil's advocate.
Let me back up.
Okay, you need.
You are funny. This is hilarious. I am the organizer, so I am the woman behind the scenes of the softball team. Everything we do, I put it together. They put it together, D. And I'm the event organizer. I get everybody together for everything that you see us doing. So they look forward to me planning some type of event. This is our 11th year of doing 11th season, or this year will be our 12th season of doing softball. If
you can, D, if you can't say no, maybe not. Can you go through each person in this picture just to give them a shout out?
Yeah, Janoris, JT.
Where we starting at? Let's start with Karen. Let's start with. Okay, go ahead.
We'll start in the front.
Okay.
Shout out to my girl, Cayenne Jackson. She and I, we like family. My uncle dated her mom. I've been knowing her since I was like maybe 12. Cosette Ely is, of course, she's like somebody I've been knowing for years and years and years.
Down over at UD one day trying to be funny. She came off the court and pushed me over, but that's another conversation. Go ahead.
And so I've been knowing her for years and years and years. She's family as well. JoJo is somebody that, hey, when I get to be her age, I want to be just like her. JoJo looks great. She keeps herself in shape. She's a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, which I love. And just good people. Keeps herself athletic. She has a lot of fun with us on that team, and I love having her there. Who's that next? Francesca, we call her Frenchie. Frenchie is new to the softball team. Good girl, been refereeing about maybe 7-8 years now, and she just recently got picked up out of Division I. So shout out to her.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cash that Frenchie right now.
She didn't get in the games this year because of the pandemic, but she definitely got hired. So hoping good things for her in 2022.
Okay, we'll look out for
Randy, I call her Randazzle, and now she loves
Randy's that deal.
That's my homegirl. That's my twin tower. That's my little sister, whatever you want to call her. That's my girl, and Randy is coming along well too, doing good things and for women, promoting and motivating women with her fitness.
Yeah,
and she lost some weight and she looking great. So shout out to her.
Hold on, she can lose weight like in 10 days. She'll drop down like half a size and be like, "Yeah, I'm working on something." And you be like, "How you do that?" She came on the podcast before. Shout out to Randy, number love.
Yep. And Sherelle and I started together. Sherelle is good people. She's a Detroit police officer, very professional. I always laugh at her. She know I make fun of her about this. If you want law and order on the basketball court, she giving it to you.
Yeah. Run up on her if you want to. Talk about a call.
Right. She law and order out there. But Sherelle and I started together. So shout out to her. She's a U of M grad, played at University of Michigan. Let me see. Who's that back there? That's behind Randy, which is who's that? CJ? Yeah, CJ, Charlotte. And CJ is if you're looking for some decorations or anything to do with proms, and she'll get you together. She's Black Diamond Entertainment.
Okay, Black Diamond Entertainment. I like that.
Right. She's the life of the party. I don't care. She always coming to turn up.
How you gonna say somebody the life of the party? Now how that sound?
She's the life of the party. She keep it going.
Okay. The life of the party, talking about somebody else, the life of the party. That's cool. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, and then next we have KK, Smooth, KK, Kevin Cleveland.
Yep, I've seen KK out, yep.
Yeah, KK's been on our softball team for about 5 years now. I think KK is a phenomenal softball player. I mean, he's great. He would love to hear me say this about him, but because I always tell him he can't play. But
but he can't be props on the SPSEdge show. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. He's a good person, real good people, smooth guy, just good people. Back next to him is my brother, Duran Little, the AK. Second D Little, and he don't like being called that, but he knows who the original D Little is.
Yeah.
He's not a referee, but outstanding father and just a great man. I'm so proud of him, man.
That's great. Shout out to the strong black fathers out here. I appreciate that.
Abasi. Next is Abasi. Abasi is Abasi. I can write a book about this guy.
I've seen him out before, I believe. I've seen Abasi out.
A phenomenal man, like just a great guy, great person, great. I can't say enough about him. If you ask for anything, he gonna give you his heart. He give it to you. So great guy. Who's that in the back? Is that Claude?
Claude, yeah, of course that's Claude. Look at Claude. Not even looking at the camera. That's Claude. Not even looking at the camera. He off on something. That's my guy right there. He off on something else.
Is my brother. A great friend. He's been around me through my first marriage and just been there the whole time. Just a real good guy. He looks up to me. I think he pretty much admires me, and anything I tell him to do, he does listen, even though he don't want to. But we have a really good relationship, and they call me Mama D, Sister D, whatever you want to call. But I keep him together.
Claude, that's my guy right there. Shout out to Claude.
Next we got is that. Oh wow, who is that?
Let's call him Jim Jones, the rapper, for now.
That's funny. I think that's Big Cat. Okay, I'm like tripping. That's Big Cat. Big Cat is Andrew Hill, and another phenomenal softball player. Great guy. Shout out to him. I don't know him like let me say anything about his personal life, but just what he brings to basketball and softball, he's a good person, real good person.
Okay.
Raymond Kelser.
Hey. Okay, now everybody listen to this part. Everybody listen to this. I ain't gonna say nothing.
I'm not gonna say much either. He knows how.
That's a good way, but you know what? If he turned around and got on this show and said, "Well, she know you be waiting outside," but that's cool though. I'll let Ray deal with that. I got you, Ray. I'm holding you down.
That's my boo thing. Ray is a great guy. We have a great relationship, great friendship. You can't ask for much more than that. He keeps me laughing. I keep him together too. And so we complement each other very well. Just a great all-around guy.
I'll say black love at its finest. How about that?
and if you ask him, he the one taught me everything that I know. So
she giving props. Look at you, strong woman giving the man props publicly. Look at that. Go ahead, Ray.
If you ask him, he gonna say he the one taught me how to referee. So again, I ref 90% of my games with him in high school. So it's like, hey, give or take, I'm sure he learned something from me as well.
Sure.
Next is Eric Lee Ely. That's one of my best male friends as well. Just a good guy, good father, good husband. Just a genuine, another person to give you his heart. He's another good official. Eric actually made it to the CBA. At one point in his career, and as of the last 10 years, he kind of just been sticking. I would say, about 7 or 8 years, he kind of just been sticking to more high school and less college because of family obligations.
Sure.
And next we have Janoris Jackson, which is JT. He called me.
Shout out to JT. He's always on the scene. He's cool guy.
That's right. That's my little adopted nephew. I'm bringing him along. He's the one that I kind of mentor in this referee circle. He's actually doing some pretty good things. He had a really good season last year. Looking to promote him a little bit more. He knows he need to drop a couple of pounds. Get a little bit more serious. But I think he has great judgment. He's a really good official. He got what it takes out there. He knows how to communicate with coaches. And he don't be a part of the game, you know, in sense of, you know, being indirectly, he's an indirectly involved official. He don't be out there just calling all over the court.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm bringing him along, but yeah, JT does a good job. So expecting great things from him.
Well, shout out to them. But on that note, as we get up to the hour, and I got a few other people who made some comments. Shout out to AA Mays. Refereeing is a great way to give back to the community. And then he also gives his personal endorsement for KK. He can play softball if there was a question. He said he can. But let's just use his statement. Refereeing is a great way to give back to the community. And now I want to play devil's advocate. I want to talk about the dark side, the underbelly of prep sports. You don't see it on the collegiate level or the pro level because so much money is involved it stops that. Let's talk about parents behaving badly. And though you talk about you got checks that you can't cash and all this stuff is going on, how much money, no, and you weren't saying it to gloat. You were just talking about that. But what about people say, man, I can't run the risk of putting myself, my mental capacity, my mental health, and my physical safety at risk because of how some of these people are reacting to officials. So how do you respond to that?
You know, I'm going to say it has gotten better. And to my knowledge now, there is some laws in place in Michigan and in other states to protect, you know, officials from assault. We recently had, I would say within the last couple of years, had 3 or 4 different known cases that has happened to officials that I know personally. And, you know, one of them specifically a female, she actually got into a fight with a fan and she won. But she charges against that female. You know, I'm not sure what happened in the last. I know she pressed charges. There was some assault and battery. I'm not sure how far, you know, it went with the conviction. But you know, that is something to think about. But I will say the MHSAA does have our back. There is some insurance for officials. They do have insurance now that you can purchase or not purchase on your own, but there is insurance that MHSAA offers.
What does that mean? I'm getting insurance. What would that cover? What would that impact?
That would cover some injuries if you ever were to be assaulted, and I believe some medical bills. I don't know all the details about that, but I do know that they do have it. So you know, and that's the bad part about it. A lot of times you go to these games, you do need to make sure that administration is on, you know, basically on site. They got your back. Is there public safety here? What's happening? And you want to think about all that stuff, especially in those big high profile games. I do a lot of those games. So you want to kind of think about all that stuff going in. You ask the AD, hey, who do we have here? It's going to be law enforcement. What happens if I have to get rid of a fan? What, you know, so you want to.
All that sounds like, I'm taking my devil's advocate hat off now. All that sounds like you following the protocol of your job. When I was with Governor Granholm and I did her advance, part of our protocol, when we got on the ground, okay, what's the hold room? What's another way out? All these different things in the box you got to check. So if you're taking on a professional role, there are requirements of what you have to do. And I'll also add, and I may be speaking for you with this, if you follow the expectations of the job, you talk about your demeanor. You talk about your relationship. You talked about JT being someone who's not in it everything or whatnot, or not having rabbit ears. If you take that professionalism to the job, I'm not saying you won't be without incident, but you'll be better equipped to manage that.
That's correct. Yeah. You went out, Lindsay.
Okay, maybe I'll come back.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, cool. So no, I just say that because I know so many people. The person who's going to be quick to say, I can't do that because of that, you probably going to be quick to say that about it. That'll be the same person that say, man, that's only $65. Or that they'll find a reason to say why they don't want to do it. Or they may not have the mental maturity to be able to be the man or the woman, because there's also that part of you potentially could be the center of attention.
Yeah. And so I just encourage people to try it. Okay. Because it's not for everybody. I will say that, and again, it's that certain personality, but you'll know right away if it's not for you. Part of the training that you do, now this is a little different because we're doing a clinic, but when you start going to basketball camps, referee camps, officiating camps, they teach you to not have rabbit ears. That's like one of the first things.
Define what rabbit ears is for our listeners.
Is you hearing everything from the audience.
Like, what you say about me?
Yeah. And so they teach you to only respond to coaches when there is a question. You don't have to respond to every statement. And I teach that, like, people that come under me, I'm like, look, listen, everything that a coaches say don't warrant a comment. You don't have to comment to everything. If they say that's a foul, that's not a question. Are they asking you, hey, was that a foul? Okay, now you can turn around and say, okay, coach, no, that she didn't have legal guardian position, or whatever your explanation may be. But everything does not warrant a response. If they're yelling, that's travel. Okay, well, the play's still moving. Yeah. You got to remember, it's always live play. You got an opportunity to talk to the coaches when you have to, or a parent. And parents, they're in the stands, so you can't want to hear everything that they're saying. They don't know no better. Okay. And honestly, the lower the level, let me say elementary and middle school, is where it's worse, because they don't know the rules. The parents don't know the rules, and the coaches are just learning. That's where they start. Everybody got to start somewhere.
D, let me put my hat back on. Put my devil's advocate hat. It's gonna be a D hat, and I'm gonna turn it to the side. Are you sitting here, professional and poised, and you doing your thing, and you on that level? Mm-hmm. But what about the human aspect that one day, let's say you and your boo thing had something going on, and Ray didn't do what he was supposed to do. Ray, I know that would never happen, of course, but I'm just saying, you come in as a human, and though you're professional as you can be, you become a little vulnerable, and you're getting tired of somebody saying what they're saying. You're getting tired of those personal attacks referring to you as an individual. You just had a human moment. How do you talk about those things that happen and being able to manage? Because I would think it happens at times.
You know what? It has not happened to me. And I'm so thankful to God. I promise you, in my 18 years, it has never happened to me. No one has ever tried to assault me. No one has ever said anything that, that I had to either throw them out the gym or...
well, you chose not to. But I'm sure there's some stuff being said.
Well, if I hear it, and so that's the other thing.
Oh, you don't got them ears. Your ears, you got them rabbit ears.
You got to hear it. You know what I mean? You got to hear it. And that's what I'm saying. I have not.
Oh, you're not in tune enough to even hear what they're saying. It's not that they're not saying it.
That could be it. But again, it has not presented itself at all, like in no kind of way. And I always say, like, God, what would happen if that happened to me? Or, I can't put myself in other people's shoes because it hasn't happened yet, but I know people who have experienced that, and all I can tell them is what they could have done, or because sometimes parents they just regular people. Yeah. They don't get it. It's a little bit different between a parent and a coach. Coach has a certain role that they have to take on, so they need to be more professional. You can't control a parent coming out the stands. Period. You cannot.
I just want to take the Claude Wiley approach sometimes. We say, what you say? What?
Now, I've gotten into it with somebody in rec league. Now, in the rec league I definitely did that. But in a high school game, college game, never. I have never, ever gotten into it with anybody in the stands, ever.
Well, listen to this. I think that's a great way that we can wind this down. And what we're going to do is just to clean up things a little bit. We're going to go back and talk about what the event is going to be, and you can talk about that. I want to, again, shout out our sponsors, the Horatio Williams Foundation. I also want to shout out Gilead and Dick's Sports as well, and what they're doing. Because of them, these things are able to happen. And, of course, because of Horatio. So I'll give you the remaining moments, Dee, to just kind of recap what the event is going to look like. What's going to take place from that time, 9 to 1, and the possibility of some future events happening going forward.
Okay. So this next Saturday will be the first annual Horatio Williams referee clinic, which I'm excited about. The first thing is I'm excited because I'm targeting the age group, as I mentioned, 16 to 24, and I'm hoping to get that age group there. Brand new officials, of course. I will have a couple of officials who haven't really officiated a year. I'm hoping that they will show up, but definitely targeting that age group, 16 to 24, wanting more females if possible. But if we get the young boys, hey, I'm happy with that as well. So what we're going to do is kind of go over. The agenda is going to look pretty basic. We want to show some video clips. see what the audience knows, what our newer officials knows, what they know about basketball, what's a foul, what's a violation, what their interpretation is when they watching tapes. We're going to make sure that we do these clips where they can say, okay, is that traveling? Is that not traveling? We're going to do that classroom segment. We're going to talk about why you should become an official or why not. And some of the people that I have that's going to be there are going to talk about why they became an official and how they became an official and what some of the benefits are, which is some of the stuff we talked about today. We're going to do some floor demonstrations where we're going to show them all the mechanics, how to call a foul, how to blow the whistle. And blowing the whistle, you may just think, okay, we just blow the whistle. No, we don't. You want to make sure that whistle is not tweaking. You want to make sure you commanding attention when you blow the whistle. It's not just, you want to put something in it. So we're going to show them how to blow the whistle.
Yeah, blow it with your chest.
Blow it with your chest. Put some air in it, you're going to blow the whistle. We're going to do some floor mechanics. We're going to show them, some of the positioning on the floor. We are going to get on the gym floor for a minute to walk through some of those demonstrations. Wow. And so that'll be like a little 4-hour segment. And what I hope to do is kind of what I talked to Horatio about. Maybe this year we can always have these first year guys, this first group come in. Then maybe next month we can have some more, a new group come in. Then after that, have another group. So we can, if I can do this every month, I will, just to give back to the community and have these younger officials coming in and getting them trained because we need them.
Maybe we get Lakita, the Coach Gantz, come on in and she can show you how somebody can be a very excited parent. Talk about my baby mama. Delonda, little shout out to Keita. What's up, Keita? Appreciate you and everything that's going on. Number love. Shout out to Robert too. Saw that dunk. Robert got that alley-oop he caught over at Crystal Ray. Oh my God, B Peoples. Well, we definitely will be in the building. SPS, that is, covering. It seems like somebody who's just teetering on the idea, D, of like, maybe I want to check this out. That'll be a great thing just to come check out. It just
absolutely
more insight. Give you more insight in the game.
And I encourage everybody, even if you're interested, just come because you can learn something. There's something that you didn't even know about officiating or why or what we do and what we do.
Both can benefit from this.
Yeah, because a lot of us have professional jobs and we are, attorneys, lawyers, doctors. It's a network here. So, it's not just, you officiating a game, but it's a network. It's a family. So when we hit that court, we know it's 3 against whoever or 2 against whoever. So we take care of each other. So it's a great opportunity and I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Well, this has been the greatest hour I've had in a long time. I was excited. I knew it was going to be like this, but I just think it's important. So we're going to make sure we share this message far and wide. What time is your tip off today?
My tip-off is at 4 o'clock, and so I have to be at the gym at 2:30. We always have to be there an hour and a half ahead of time. So
punctuality is important for this. You can't be running up and they're talking about
it's a whole professional world. I mean, we have to dress professional, business casual. You have to be at your games an hour and a half. We have to watch game film. You kind of want to see what you did the night before. So it's a lot. It's a lot. What's Keita saying?
He said, I don't feel comfortable watching games unless the officials are part of the crew that rolls with D Little. Okay. She said they got to have that D Little stamp. And what Lakita say goes. Lakita is letting us know.
Oh, that's my homegirl. And you're right. She's another motivator and engager, in sports and basketball. Phenomenal.
A quick story. Me and Keita came up together playing ball outside, like you talked about, over at those old coolie courts. Running, and I would hate to be opposite of Keita because she was going to talk trash and shoot a jump shot. And I threw a couple bowls a couple times, and I didn't feel bad about it at all. I didn't feel bad.
That's how I met Keita. Do you know that's how I met Keita? I met her, and we would always be on the same team playing, and she would be talking so much SAIT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what she did. That's what she was known for. And I would always be like, "Girl, you cuss every other word." She's gotten a lot better, but she was definitely a trash talker. But
and you couldn't talk bad about her because she played good. She wore nice hoop clothes and all that, and hit the shot.
And she gonna shoot that jumper, that 3.
I knocked her down plenty of times. I didn't feel bad at all. I knocked it down like a dude, but that's my heart right there just as well. Shout out to Keita. She said, I couldn't help it. I'm better now. Yeah, you need to be.
She is better. She is.
Well, with that being said, I want to thank you for coming on. I think you're being nothing but a great resource. Blessings to you and what you're doing. May your hearts on Valentine's Day shine through the people all throughout the year and continue to be a great role model, not just for women in refereeing, for men as well. And we don't want you to be a stranger. And I'll be there next week to cover what you have going on. So with that, any last thing you want to say before we go?
No, I just encourage people to come out. Even if you're thinking about it, just come. Just come that one time, and that way you can get an idea of what we do as an official. It'll be beneficial to you.
Yeah, and the last comment, Deborah Young said, Orlando Watkins, I thank them for having the clinic because the officials at our first game were terrible with the timekeeping. They talked about it on the side, but never addressed the score and say, okay, Deborah, we feel you. We go work on it. That's why we having the clinic to get better. Okay? hey, they ain't gonna let you leave without a statement or something.
I know, right?
Out of complaint. So with that, you have a great day today and be safe.
They teach us in the referee world, you only gonna make 50% happy. 50-50. That's all we can do.
Exactly. Well, you're doing great. You're making 100% of us happy with you being on here today. Thank you, Dean. We'll see you next week, okay? All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.